I'm here today with Evan Carmichael. Evan is an expert on entrepreneurship and on personal branding and on blogging and a whole social media, a lot of things. But I want to start off because you have this passion for entrepreneurs, and I want to find out a little bit more about the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
What is the entrepreneurial mindset? How do they think?
Wow, I think it roots from a dissatisfaction with the world around us. Entrepreneurs are the crazy ones who see a better future, are upset about something, and then we want to make a change. Or I think anybody can pick out something that they don't like in their world, but the entrepreneurs are the solution providers. They're the ones who want to find a way to solve it and to make the world a better place somehow. And I think most of our global problems could be solved by entrepreneurs if they were given the opportunity.
Excellent. Well, that solves a lot of problems.
It does.
Well, Evan, what about non-entrepreneurs? So,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who says, I have no interest in starting a business, I'm not an entrepreneur. What can they learn from entrepreneurs in terms of how the entrepreneurs approach problems?
Yeah, I think it's a feeling of empowerment, a feeling that I have the power to be able to make a change. Where I think a lot of people who might be inside a corporation or an organization, they see a problem with how their organization is run. Or if you work at a library, you see tons of problems with the library, but then you feel, oh, I can't do this because I don't have the power, or it's not my position, it's not my job title. Where the entrepreneurial mindset is, I'm going to find a way to make a difference. I'm going to find a way to make a change. If I don't like something at this library, I'm going to step up and do something, even though it's not my position. And so I think adopting that mindset and just that ability to feel like I'm empowering myself. I don't need permission from somebody else to say what I can and cannot do. I'm going to do something to try to make a positive impact. And one, for the individuals in the organization to feel like they can go and take that leap. And then two, for the leaders of those organizations to empower their team to take risks and do something different and not say you can only do what's inside this box.
Risk-taking is something you always think about with entrepreneurs. Do certain people have that kind of built in, that they're just more willing to take risks and others not?
Yeah, I think some entrepreneurs are the insane risk takers, the ones who bet everything and go all in on their dream. But you don't have to be. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who aren't like that. There's a lot of really pragmatic entrepreneurs who start on the side and start part-time, and they work the evenings and the weekends until they earn enough from their business to then leave their job and go full-time in their business. So it doesn't have to be this crazy, risky adventure that you go off and start to be.
Just makes a better story, right?
It makes a good story. But I think also staying in a job and assuming that you're gonna have that same job for the next 25 years, that's risky. That's crazy risky. Assuming that company is still going to be around in 10, 15, 20 years, that's crazy risky. Where betting on yourself, I think, is one of the best bets that you can make.
That's an interesting take on it. How about failure? So it's the same thing, risk-taking, failure. It seems like entrepreneurs fail again, they bounce back. They kind of have this stick-to-itiveness. Is that something that you can teach in school? Is that something you can raise your kids with, that kind of mindset?
Failure is a really interesting topic, and it's something that we see as a bad thing for some reason. Where failure is really feedback. Failure is a learning experience. Failure is only really failure if you don't take anything and learn from it. And again, you don't have to jump in and go all in and be the risky entrepreneur. I think everybody fails in their path to success. Everybody fails, not just entrepreneurs. Anybody anytime you're trying to learn something, you will fail at the start. You will suck at the start, right? You want to learn French, you're going to fail along the way to learning French, right? You want to get up on a snowboard, you're not going to ace it the first time down. You're going to fall, and eventually you make it up, right? And so the notion that you would start a business or start any project and have instant success is crazy. And people try something out for the first time when they're not successful at it, and a lot of them will then say, yeah, I'm not an entrepreneur, oh, that's not for me, I can't do this, and they go back to their life that they hate, where that's just a learning experience, right? Just the key, I think, is to make small failures, like fail small, fail small. Don't go crazy and bet the house and your mortgage and put your entire family at risk. Right. Exactly, that's where it gets dangerous. But in terms of teaching small failures, I think we kind of already do through our upbringing in our school system and a lot of the things that we do. But I think just showcasing that failure is not this really negative thing that we want to run away from, because if you have no failures, it means you're playing life so safe that you've never taken any risk at anything, any shot at anything, right? You have a dream to accomplish something, you're going to fail a lot to get there. And I just see failure as feedback, not as something that is a negative thing.
So you're reminding me of failure and learning a language. I ordered very confidently. We're here in Madrid in Spain, and I ordered in Spanish very confidently. And he left, the waiter went away, and then he came back and asked this very long question in Spanish. It kept going on and on. I was totally lost. So I had to admit that I could hardly speak any Spanish at all, to which he then said he hardly spoke any English. So we worked it out. But failure and just keep going. Otherwise, I would have been starving, literally.
Right,
so
cool.
I get the message. Well, EvanCarmichael.com, I want to turn and talk a little bit about personal branding. Sure. Because it's a topic a lot of professionals are thinking about today. Yeah. And how do you develop a personal brand? I mean, obviously, everybody's not going to create EvanCarmichael.com and have hundreds of thousands of visitors, but how do you distinguish yourself with a personal brand in today's world with all the tools we have? And is that getting harder or easier?
Yeah, it's an interesting story because when I first started, I had the name just as, the website was just up there to talk about where I was speaking. I had a company I built and sold when I was 22. And so I had some success and was asked to do a bunch of speaking in a bunch of places. So it was just a personal website. As it evolved into a content website, I kind of secretly wished that I had named it something else, something better, like small business success or something.com. And like, oh, why did I put it off my name? And now circling back, I'm so happy that I kept it on my name because the personal brand, I think, is the opportunity for people to stand out, especially for small organizations, entrepreneurs. We try to be professional. We try to look up to these big companies, say, I want to be like them and have a professional brand. But I think the personal connection people can make to you, that's your selling feature. That's why I'm going to come and buy from you as opposed to buying from this big corporation that already has trust and already has history and already has a reputation. Why I'm going to go buy from an entrepreneur is the story. People connect with the story. And if I can feel your passion, right, and me. So if they can connect with my passion, then they're much more likely to buy from me. I think too many people hide behind a corporate veil.
Brand.
Professional website,
automated
no picture,
response.
right? Tell me your story. Get on camera, do a video. And this applies to libraries too. Like, who's the head librarian at the library that I'm going to? What's their story? Why are they so interested in being a librarian? What's their favorite book? What motivates them and inspires them to come to work every day? Like, telling that story gives me a personal connection to the individual as well as to the institution that I think any leader of any organization should be telling their story and making a personal brand for themselves.
And the powerful stories of the people they help and their stories too, telling them, it's absolutely amazing. Well, I want to turn and ask about modeling the masters, because that's something you talk about. It's something I'm passionate about, learning from other people. That's why I want to talk to you. Yeah. You just learn so much more when you learn from other people instead of making all those failures yourself, right? Always better someone else makes it, hits the wall and say, oh, probably not a good idea. You fall like that. Yeah. How do you, talk a little bit about that, and how do you teach people to kind of model themselves that way?
Yeah, so the idea comes from whatever problem you're facing right now, somebody's already solved it. And a great way is actually to look through books and find out, whatever problem in history that you're facing right now has already been solved. History repeats itself over and over and over again. It started when I was 19, had my first software company, and I was struggling and failing and making $300 a month and not being able to survive. And I hit my bottom, and then I eventually realized that I'm not the first guy to try to sell software before. Like, this has been figured out. I just need to find someone who's done it and model their success. And I looked at Microsoft and Bill Gates and how he started Microsoft. Not how Bill Gates makes an extra $1 million now. It's not relevant. But 0 to 1. How did they do that? That's what I want to do. And I did it through partnerships. And so I started following what he did to be successful in his early days, and I started landing deals. And I got my first check was $13,500, and that, to me, was amazing. That may not seem like a lot of money, but when you're making $300 a month, $13,500 is a lot of money. But more importantly, it gave me a model to then replicate over and over and over and over and over again. And so now my default is whatever challenge that I'm facing right now, look at who's already accomplished it and how can we model their success. I'm doing a talk tomorrow to help libraries. One of the things I'm talking about is modeling the Great Library of Alexandria, like the greatest library of all time. What can we learn from this great institution that now libraries have lost some of their relevancy? And so whatever challenge you're facing, somebody's already figured out the problem. It may be looking to within your industry, but often it's looking outside your industry to see what people are doing to apply those lessons to your organization.
That's great. Well, you've done so much, personal branding, social media, all of the entrepreneurship. What's next for you?
I don't know.
Just see what happens.
Yeah,
Take a risk.
I think this is the thing where your business should always be a reflection of who you are. And I think a lot of times, especially entrepreneurs, you start a business and you're in this box. And then you grow as an individual, you grow as a human being, you start going off on these tangents, but your business doesn't keep up with you. And so then you grow bored with your business, or it stagnates and it doesn't grow anymore like it was before because you've changed and your business hasn't. And so your business should always be a reflection of who you are, what you're interested in doing. So I want to help 1 billion entrepreneurs. That's my personal goal.
You're keeping a track of the running number?
Kind of, but it's much more about the process than the end result, right? It just means that the things that I do have to be able to have an ability to impact millions of people at a time. If it doesn't have the ability to have a big impact, then I'm not interested in doing it. So right now, I'm working on my YouTube channel. It's the most popular channel for entrepreneurs. We've had over 20 million views on the videos. I'm writing a book with Penguin Random House and taking on other projects. But what am I going to be doing in 5 years? I have no idea.
See where it goes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Take a risk. Well, thanks so much. This was awesome.
Glad to be on.